Of course, we're talking about the first official step on the road to SummerMania, that being Xtreme King. And once again, starting us off will be Brandon Hobbs taking on Blackheart with the XCW Hardcore Championship, as well as the well-known to Blackheart XAWA Hardcore Championship, and of course being Flaming Table and Hardcore. These two men went all out to put on a show. At the end, though, it would be Brandon Hobbs putting Blackheart through that Flaming Table to pick up the XCW Hardcore Championship and the XAW Hardcore Championship. And now it looks like Brandon Hardcore Hobbs is back on top of the Hardcore division. Next up, we would see a triple threat for the Tag Team Championships. Of course, the Hardliners, Miano Diaz and Patrick O'Reilly, versus Law Enforcement, Jaden Tucker and Jackson Law. And of course, myself and my tag team partner, S.2, Knowledge is Power. Triple threat rules, one member of each team in at the same time. And Jackson and Pat took advantage of it, taking myself out early to go one-on-one. Multiple various spots at this time. Miano Diaz launching himself out at once onto everyone. But towards the end, it would be an absolute fest as S.2 would take out Patrick O'Reilly, Jackson Law taking out S.2, Miano Diaz taking out Jackson Law, myself taking out Miano Diaz, Jaden Tucker taking me out, Patrick O'Reilly finally back to his feet, delivering a spear to Jaden Tucker, following a Wasteland Slam with Miano Diaz on his back onto Tucker, and of course the senton to make Patrick O'Reilly now a three-time XCW Tag Team Champion, and Miano Diaz his first reign as a Tag Team Champion. So, with the Hardliners now atop the Tag Team division, what is next for Diaz and O'Reilly? Now, before we get into our New Age Championship match, we would see Hazard come out to the ring, and he had words to say, words that I would not feel great repeating, but he would be banned from the XCW arena until SummerMania, where he, at the moment it is sanctioned, where he will take on the All-American Brady Branson. Will Hazard follow these rules of staying away from XCW, or if he shows up, could his match potentially be scratched? But like I said, let's get into that New Age Championship match, which would be a trunk match between Anthony Steele and DJ Wolbert. And the most vicious part of this match would be when DJ Wolbert sliced open the head of Anthony Steele. Very graphic content as Anthony Steele was dripping blood down his body. But that wasn't enough for DJ, as Anthony Steele would slam the trunk and the New Age Championship reign of DJ Wolbert shut to finally give Anthony Steele his first taste of championship gold in XCW here, as Anthony Steele is now the New Age Champion. But with a potential injury, how long will it last? We will have to see. And you know, he calls it the Summer of Steel. Will that summer be fulfilling? But we are going to cut to our quick commercial break. When we come back, we will have the man who had to enter at #1 in Xtreme King joining us, one of the best XCW newcomers in recent years, none other than Hunter Halcyon.
Wrestler on the roster.
He's a dick. Sold out. He's a family man. He has no business putting on the boots, and he can retire anytime now.
Corey Lee is the supposed XCW salvation.
He is a very sexy man.
A dick.
He's an XCW hump.
Corey Lee, he's a man you never expect, every time you expect something with Corey Lee, respect. Salvation. I don't know, some dude.
Is blood, but a genius. I mean, obviously, it's in the DNA.
He's soft as hell. He's soft as hell. Yeah, fuck him.
A bitch?
Whoa. Wait a minute. This is my show now. I want to tell this story how I want to tell it. You understand me? This is my sometime later. Corey Lee.
Do it now.
Coming soon to XC Wrestling.
Back from our first commercial break, like I said, we would have the man who had to enter Xtreme King at number 1 joining us, none other than Hunter Halcyon. So,
Hey.
You did have to enter at number 1, and entering at number 1 is no easy task. So, how did you prepare knowing that if you wanted to have any chance at winning Xtreme King, you would have to last a very long time?
Right. Well, you know, I kind of came into this preparing the same way I would for any match, you know? Ever since my debut, I was thrown straight into the fire. I was in there with the tag match with the winner of Xtreme King, Blackheart, going against Psycor and Corey Lee. So I've had nothing but pressure since the very start of my XCW career, and I expect it to get only ramped up from here. So it's just more so of a physical preparation than it is a mental thing at this point.
All right, and you mentioned being thrown straight into the fire. You've had run-ins with Hayden Vex, Corey Lee, just thrown, like you said, straight into the fire, into a pack of wolves. You know, being that you are so new to XCW, and you've already been thrusted into a main event picture, how does that feel knowing that you're respected here in XCW by the many greats?
Well, man, it feels great. It feels absolutely amazing. You know, I come from a family that has a lot of money. I was the black sheep of this family. I never was getting the same stuff as my brothers or maybe my cousins, or under the same amount of respect as my parents had. So being able to come out to XCW and make a name for myself in such a short amount of time means the absolute world to me, because it's all I've ever wanted my whole life. I don't care about money, fame. I just want to wrestle, man. That's it.
All right, and you know, you have had run-ins with Corey Lee and Hayden Vex, two of the guys who are at the top of the food chain, and you're still fairly new to XCW, though. So who are 5 people that you would want to share the ring with, whether it be in tag team action or just one-on-one with in your XCW career?
Wow, oh, that's a great question. There's a lot of talent I've been keeping my eyes on here at XCW, but if I were to name 5 guys from any era, be from now, earlier, it would have to be Brendan, the Badman Stickle. Obviously Fletch, because I'd like to kick his ass. I would have to say Austin Chaos. He was really great back in the day. I would love to share the ring with him. Parsley, I'd love to kick his teeth in for what he said about the boat. And then obviously Venom. He's a great here at XCW, and he's here every show, whether it's commentating, performing. I want to share the ring with those guys.
All great answers, and like you said, you know, you haven't had things handed to you since you were a child, but you've came in immediately making a name for yourself in XCW. So what would you say to anyone trying to come into XCW and make a name for themselves? What are some words of advice or words of wisdom you would give them?
Well, I haven't been around here long, but if there's one major thing I could tell you, it's to respect the business and respect everybody in it. Because at the end of the day, you can kick everyone's ass on the way to the top, but on the way down, you got to kiss every single one that you kicked. So you got to keep that same energy, whether you're at the bottom of the card, top of the card. Go out there and you try to put on a performance for the fans. and try to prove to yourself that you can do every single thing that you know you can. Because once you start having that doubt is when fear starts creeping in, and that's the last thing you want in that squared circle.
All right, all great answers from you. And of course, thank you for joining us today. Hunter Halcyon has a bright future here in XCW, but we're going to have to cut to a quick commercial break before we get to talking about the world title match between Fletch and Brogan O'Shea, as well as our Xtreme King Battle Royal, where Hunter Halcyon had to enter at #1. So I'm sure you'll hear a ton about him later on.
Yes.
Back from our final commercial break. Of course, thank you to Hunter Halcyon. But like I said, we would be talking about the Belfast Brawl match between Fletch and Brogan O'Shea, where the XCW Championship would be on the line, as well as a special guest referee, Chris Jones. And, you know, a Belfast Brawl, of course, it's a brawl, and that's exactly what these two men did. At one point, Chris Jones was knocked down, and Fletch was tapping out. However, with Chris Jones being down, there was no ref to see it. Brogan O'Shea could have had this one match won, but nobody to see it, no result. In the end, though, Brogan O'Shea would come out victorious, picking up the victory and becoming the XCW champion once again. However, afterwards, I would make my way down to the ring and cash in my Money in the Bank briefcase. However, once again on the night, I would fail after I was accidentally, it was an accident, struck by my partner, S.2, and Brogan O'Shea would take advantage of that, delivering the last call to win 2 times on the night. Of course, O'Shea now back at the top with his XCW championship. So, what will the Rambler have to say knowing that he is now back on top? However, last but certainly not least, of course, the annual tradition when it comes to Xtreme King. That Battle Royal where the winner will get a chance at SummerMania to face the XCW champion. Like I said, Hunter Halcyon would enter at 1 with his rival Corey Lee at 2. And these two would go back and forth with nobody being eliminated. But, you know, with Xtreme King comes a few surprises. Early on, Stevie Goebel and DTC being in the match. Of course, Stevie Goebel would even pick up an elimination when he dumped Miano Diaz over the top rope. Not a long day for Miano. Also, you know, a few other surprises being Justin Sane for the first time ever being in a ring when it came to XCW. And you can tell he was very hard to take down just looking at him. He's a very strong man, but he would be eliminated by Brandon Hobbs. A couple other surprises would be Justin Parsley continued his history with Venom, taking him out of the match, and when Parsley was eliminated, continuing his attack on Venom. It seems like these two men are on a collision course and being on the path to SummerMania. Could we see things culminate between these two at the biggest show of the year? Also, Brennan Stickle, a surprise entrant in the Battle Royal. Corey Lee thought he was getting a friend joining him to help out, but you could tell Brennan Stickle has took offense to what Corey Lee has become. Stickle took advantage of that, beating down Corey Lee, even eliminating him from the Battle Royal. Of course, our final surprise, there's a few ones. Hazard, although he's supposed to be banned from XCW's arena, he took offense to this, came out and ruined Brady Brance's chances at winning Xtreme King. Without even being in the Battle Royal, Hazard took out Brady Branson. Branson thrown over the top rope technically means he was eliminated. We do know Hayden and Tommy have been going back and forth for months now, but Hayden would get the upper hand in Xtreme King, eliminating Tommy the Man Merriman. Boyd, though, you know, he's this new character. He tried to give some therapy to Hunter Halcyon earlier on. Don't really know if Hunter took that advice, but Jacobs wouldn't last long in Xtreme King as he was dumped by the international champion Jay Ellis. Now, something very shocking. After losing his title match earlier on, Royalty having to disband Fletch, was a man who had lost everything, and he would enter the Xtreme King Battle Royal at number 30, immediately tossing anyone in his sights. Of course, Hunter Halcyon being the first man he tossed, came in with a chair just beating down everyone. And that would lead to a final four of Fletch, Brandon Hobbs, Hayden Vex, and Blackheart. Of course, Blackheart being in a very bad situation with Fletch and Hayden Vex, former teammates. Brandon Hobbs having history with Blackheart, taking him out earlier in the show for that hardcore championship. But Blackheart would overcome the odds, last eliminating Hayden Vex to win Xtreme King and go on to SummerMania, where right now he would be facing Brogan O'Shea, who's the XCW champion. But things can change. Anybody could step up. But what we do know is Blackheart will be wrestling for the XCW championship at SummerMania. What we also know is that today's XCW Extra, we will see Corey Lee taking on Alex Riot. So stay tuned for that.
Hello everybody and welcome to another XCW Extra here on the Rundown. And we have a hell of a contest coming up for you here tonight as we see and hear the music of one Corey Lee. And here he is now, Corey Lee, making his way to the ring. And tonight, he's going one-on-one with Alex Riot. And Corey Lee, since changing up his attitude, changing up his look, changing up his style, has definitely been on a rampage. And Alex Riot has his hands tied tonight with Corey Lee.
And usually when Corey Lee faces someone he knows well, he said he has With Alex Riot, though, Corey Lee doesn't know much about Riot, so while Riot may have his hands full, Corey Lee will definitely have his hands full trying to figure out the best way to keep Riot off his feet and to get the victory.
As you know, Alex Riot has made his way around the independent circuit here in Indiana, and now he's going one-on-one with one of XCW's best, and Corey Lee, as Alex Riot makes his way to the ring. And this is the first one-on-one meeting between these two. Neither one of these guys really know each other that well, so it's going to be interesting to see how each one of these guys tried to manipulate, try to find a way to get on top of the other and get a win in this match.
Riot seems a little bit relaxed. You know, he doesn't know his sword's probably empty, as you can tell by looking at him. But Corey Lee is no man to overestimate. No one you want to just go in with no thoughts. Corey Lee is one of the best in XCW, and he will be taking on Alex Riot, who, like you said, has made his way around the independent circuit here in Indiana.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The bell is rung, and a collar and elbow to start off this match. Quickly gets Corey Lee locked up, and Corey Lee smartly goes to the ropes. Alex Riot has to break it here, and here we go. Both of these guys are in the feeling out process.
A little bit of reset back into the collar, elbow, and tie. And Alex Riot once again taking control with that headlock, but Corey Lee here taking him off to the ropes.
Irish whip, big shoulder tackle. Both men go down. Both men back to their feet here.
And like you said, just that feeling out process, trying to figure out what is the best way to go about taking your opponent down.
Here we go. It looks like they're going to set up for a little bit of test of strength here. Alex Riot, Corey Lee. Who's got the strength advantage between these two? Again, the feeling out process. And Alex looks like he had Corey Lee's number there and a stomp on his fingers. A little bit of a dirty tactic there from Alex Riot. And Corey Lee tries to shake it off, and this match continues. And this is exactly what I expected from these matches. Both men trying to fill each other out, trying to find out what they got to do to get on top. Both these men have the strength. They both have the quickness. They both have a very similar style. So it's going to be interesting to see who can come in on top, as Corey Lee is just manipulating Alex Riot's body right now.
Just snapping away at the arm, and that's a good way to go about it. Like you said, they both have the power, they both have the speed, but Corey Lee probably has the better awareness when it comes to this match. You can see that just stomping away at Riot in the corner.
Corey Lee out of the corner, big knees. A version of the Starstruck knee there from Corey Lee. And could this be enough to put Alex Riot away early? And it's not. 2 count from Alex Riot.
Strong kick out there from Riot, but Corey Lee has taken control of this match, and for the first time here, it seems like one man has full control as Corey Lee gets Alex back to his feet.
Corey Lee looks as if he's going to set Alex up, and he does for a suplex there, and you can see the pain on the face of Alex Riot. And Alex has got to be questioning right now. He came to XCW to take on the best, and he's getting the best right now, and it may cost him.
Another kick out there from Alex following a double knee stop by Corey Lee, but Corey Lee just staying on the attack. Looks like Alex fighting Corey Lee, trying to do whatever it takes to gain control of this contest, or trying to get him off.
And Alex Riot is fired up now after fighting Corey Lee. He's got Corey Lee in the corner for those hard right forearm shots. What has he got in mind here as he gets into the corner? And oh, he catches a boot to the face from Corey Lee.
Looks like Alex Riot was trying to get some momentum going, like you said, but Corey Lee caught him with a boot to take him right back off his feet.
And, you know, we've seen Alex Riot pop up in XCW a time or two, trying to help out DJ Wolbert, as the two are mutual friends. Alex Riot is not a mainstay here in XCW, as we said at the top. He is currently working on the independents, and there's a quick roll-up by Alex Riot. Could it be enough? And it's not.
And, you know, Corey Lee looked like he was going for a body slam there, but Alex Riot able to turn it into a roll. But here's the mistake Alex has been making. Whenever it looks like he might be able to take control, he gets off of the attack and gives Corey Lee some breathing room. But this could be, see, once again, Corey Lee just smartly knowing what what to do and how to keep Alex Riot away.
Corey Lee's just got to be careful here. He doesn't want to get disqualified in this match. Did you imagine what it does for the psyche, for the bragging rights of Corey Lee if he can knock off an independent wrestler in Alex Riot? And right now, he's just manipulating Alex Riot's body, now working on the knee. You've seen him work on the shoulder earlier. Corey Lee is just picking Alex Riot apart.
That's true.
And now Corey Lee just staying on the attack. Looks like he's going to bring Alex Riot to his feet once again. But Alex Riot finally fighting back with a suplex of his own. He could be trying to roll through with it.
And a nice version of Tommy Merriman's kill switch there from Alex Riot. A side suplex. 1, 2, and a kick out at the last second from Corey Lee. That was close.
You see Alex Riot getting frustrated. He has to stay on the attack instead of getting into it with the ref, letting his frustrations boil over. And looks like it might be his turn to start working on the lower body of Corey Lee. And you know Corey Lee, he does have that surgically repaired knee. And this definitely doesn't benefit that knee in any sort of way.
Yep, double-A Boston Crab. Corey Lee trying everything he can to get away from Alex Riot to get back into control of this match with hard right shots. And that just rocks Alex Riot into the corner. And there's a chop from Corey Lee as he's trying to find a way to get back to the top here. Northern Lights suplex. Nice job from Corey Lee. Rolls out of it here and a double foot stomp.
Both men down here as, the referee trying to get one of their feet. It's going to be Corey Lee crawling into a cover. Might have took too much time, though.
And his shoulder was up. We got a 1 count, but he quickly got the shoulder up. Good job by Ref Festus there, making sure that Alex Riot was pinned to the mat, and he was not. And now Corey Lee has got to feel that frustration. Oh, no! Riot is going to set him up for the finish there, but no! Corey Lee smartly gets out of it. And this could be it. Oh my God! 1, 2, 3. Corey Lee knocks off Alex Riot in a huge win for his career.
He just drove his knee into the head of Alex Riot to pick up the dominating victory. Corey Lee just at multiple points knew what to do and when to do it.
What a great back and forth match between Alex Riot and Corey Lee here on XCW Extra on the Rundown. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time here on XCW Extra on the Rundown.